Goodwill brings to you the weekly share market update dated the 7th of September, 2024. Talking about the corporate segment, we have shares of Aegis Logistics surged around 6% on September 2nd due to heavy volumes. A total of 9 lakh shares of the company changed hands on BSE and NSE combined so far in the day, compared to 1-month average trading volume of 5 lakh shares. Recently, Aegis Vopak Terminals Limited, a subsidiary of the company, issued 95.37 crore fully paid-up equity shares as a bonus. These shares are valued at 953.7 rupees crore in total. The Board of Directors of AVTL approved the allocation of these bonus shares through a resolution passed on August 28, 2024. Aegis Vopak Terminals operates a network of terminals located in 5 strategic ports in the country. It is one of the largest independent tank storage companies for LPG and chemicals with a capacity of nearly 9.6 lakh cubic meters. Last month, it was reported that AVTL is looking to file its draft red herring prospectus with capital markets regulator SEBI to raise funds through an initial public offering. The subsidiary of Aegis Logistics is looking to raise nearly 4,500 rupees crore through a fresh issue, reported CNBC TV 18 citing sources. Since the company's IPO will be a fresh issue entirely, the entire proceeds of 4,500 rupees crore will come into the company and is expected to be used for expansion purposes. Shares of Oriana Power hit a 5% upper circuit at 2,193.15 rupees on NSE SME on September 2 platform after the company announced that it received a 247.88 rupees crore order for a 52-megawatt solar power plant. The contract was awarded by Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited. The new project will be developed in Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh. It falls under the company's engineering, procurement, and construction segment. Under the contract, Oriana Power will ensure the development of the solar power plant, which includes obtaining approval from the central transmission utility, setting up necessary transmission lines, and managing operations and maintenance for 5 years. This contract is expected to be executed within 6 months by Oriana Power. Incorporated in 2013, Oriana Power is engaged in 2 main business verticals, providing EPC and operations of solar power projects, and offering solar energy solutions on a build, own, operate, transfer basis. In August, the company announced plans to establish a gigawatt-scale facility dedicated to producing alkaline electrolyzers and balance of plant modules. This factory is set to launch in 2 phases, with the first phase, featuring a 500-megawatt annual capacity for electrolyzer production, slated to commence operations by 2026. Geojit Financial Services shares soared 14% to a record high of 155.73 rupees apiece on September 3, driven by heavy trading volumes. This marks the 3rd consecutive session of gains, with the Jhunjhunwala portfolio stock having surged 20% over this period. As of the end of the June 2024 quarter, investor Rekha Jhunjhunwala held 7.2% stake in Geojit Financial Services, equivalent to 17.21 million shares, according to the company's shareholding pattern data. Other significant shareholders include BNP Paribas, CJ George, founder and managing director of Geojit, and the Kerala State Industrial Development Corporation. Geojit Financial is engaged in the business of retail and institutional broking and distribution of financial products. The company's board recently approved a proposal to raise an amount aggregating up to 200 rupees crore by way of issue of equity shares on rights issue basis to the eligible equity shareholders of the company. The record date for the fundraise will be disclosed later, the company said in an exchange filing. The stock has gained around 92% so far this year, outperforming Nifty's returns of 16%. In the past 12 months, the counter has risen 165%, more than doubling investors' capital. In comparison, Nifty rose 29% during this period. Shares of staffing company Questcorp have snapped a 4-day losing streak to rise nearly 7% and test the 52-week high of 824 rupees on September 3, on the back of higher manpower addition and the likelihood of completion of demerger by this fiscal. Over the past 6 months, the company's shares have gained 61%, significantly outperforming Nifty 50, which has gained 12% in the same period. Kamal Pal-Hoda, Group CFO of Quess Corp, had recently mentioned on CNBC TV 18 that the company expects the demerger to be completed by the end of this financial year, with the three separate entities likely to be listed by Q1 financial year 2026. In February 2024, the company had announced plans to demerge into three separate entities. Both NSE and BSE have issued a no adverse observation or no objection certificate for the demerger plan. Following this approval, Quess Corp has applied to the NCLT. Quess Corp also said that its headcount has surpassed 6 lakhs, placing it among the global league of staffing companies. This puts us onto a global map in terms of the large employers globally. And of course, in India, we continue to lead by far, Quess Corp's management told ET Now in a recent interview. We have been adding anywhere between 60,000 to 70,000 headcount net adds per year. We are happy to be where we are, and look to take this forward at an aggressive growth rate. BEML is among the defense stocks that surged around 7% on September 4 after the Defense Acquisition Council approved major procurements worth 1.4 lakh crore for the armed forces. The stock surged amid heavy volumes as 17 lakh shares of the defense PSU changed hands on BSE and NSE combined compared to the 1-month average trading volume for 5 lakh shares. BEML is a public sector undertaking that manufactures a variety of heavy equipment, such as that used for earth-moving, railways, transport and mining. It manufactures variants of BEML Tatra vehicles for all-terrain operations, and also supplies engineering mine plows, tank transportation trailers, weapon loading equipment, armored recovery vehicle, mill rail coaches and wagons. The company plays a role in the country's integrated guided missile development project by supplying ground support vehicles. The company has also created a test track at its KGF complex to test defense equipment and vehicles. BEML recently inaugurated the prototype manufacturing of driverless metro train sets 5 RSDM project dedicated to fulfilling the Bangalore Metro Rail Corporation's project for Lines 2 and 6, including the ambitious Bangalore Airport line. Rama Steel Tube surges 8% in trade on September 4 after the firm announced a strategic collaboration with Onyx Renewable. Over 10 crore shares exchanged hands in trade on the bourses, over 200% higher than the 1-month daily traded average of 4 crore shares. This partnership will focus on leveraging the expertise of Rama Steel Tubes to provide steel structures along with single-axis trackers, and will also focus on dual-axis trackers to be expanded in the future, essential for solar projects undertaken by Onyx Renewable, said the firm in a filing with the exchanges. Rama Steel Tubes has expanded its expertise and developed specialized steel structures and tracker tubes which will serve as the backbone for greenfield solar projects. This marks the firm's entry into the green energy segment. The steel player also added that it is determined to deliver products that ensure the highest standards of reliability, durability, and performance, which are critical to the long-term success of solar greenfield projects. Over the past year, shares of Rama Steel Tubes have fallen around 9%, as against a 30% jump in the NIFTY 50 index. Mytrip announced the incorporation of a wholly owned subsidiary for the purpose of electric bus manufacturing. The company's shares gained 10% in Thursday's trade after the announcement by online travel company. The company in an exchange filing said, the board of directors in the meeting held today, i.e., Thursday, September 5, 2024 have considered and approved the incorporation of a wholly owned subsidiary of the company for the purpose of electric bus manufacturing subject to necessary approval from the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. The company was in the news in January this year, after it suspended flight bookings to Maldives amid the boycott trend following derogatory remarks by some Maldives ministers against PM Narendra Modi over his visit to Lakshadweep. Max Estates has announced raising 800 rupees crore through a qualified institutional placement. The QIP was priced at 597.50 rupees per equity share, representing a 4.97% discount on the floor price of 628.74 rupees per equity share. The company in an exchange filing said, the issue received overwhelming interest from leading domestic financial institutions and foreign institutional investors, as investors showed strong confidence in the business fundamentals, project portfolio, and growth prospects of the company. Additionally, the board approved a fundraising of up to 150 rupees crore by way of preferential issue of convertible warrants to Max Ventures Investment Holdings Private Limited and Sunil Vachani, chairman of Dixon Technologies Limited, the release said. However, it is subject to the approval of the shareholders. The capital raise comes close after recently, New York life insurance company invested in Max Estates and bought 49% of Max Towers and Max House, two key commercial real estate assets of the company. Godfrey Phillips is likely to consider a bonus issue to the shareholders in the upcoming board meeting. The announcement was made in an exchange filing before the cigarette maker's 87th Annual General Meeting, AGM, on September 6, Friday. A meeting of the Board of Directors is scheduled to be held on Friday, the 20th of September, 2024 to consider and recommend 1:2 bonus issue, the company said in a regulatory filing today. A 1:2 bonus issue means the shareholders will get 2 free shares for each held, if it is approved by the board. The company's board would consider and recommend to shareholders, for their approval, the issue of bonus shares by capitalization of reserves. Issue of bonus shares in the ratio of 2:1, i.e. 2 new fully paid up equity shares of ₹2 only each for every 1 existing fully paid up equity share of ₹2 only each, to the equity shareholders of the company by capitalization of reserves, the company said. Share J. Bolaji Industries Limited has moved up by 21.65% this week with a change of 197.40 points. It has traded with a net volume of 1.212 million shares. The share is currently trading at the price level of 1,109.10 against the previous closing price of 911.70. Meanwhile, the share price is trading above its moving average 953.70, which is a good indication for the stock. The stock has made the highest move to 1,135.50 points this week. While shares are trading with a relative strength index of around 62.68. Gujarat Fluorochemicals Limited has moved up by 19.95% this week with a change of 633.55 points. It has traded with a net volume of 5.227 million shares. The share is currently trading at the price level of 3,808.90 against the previous closing price of 3,175.35. Meanwhile, the share price is trading above its moving average 3,382.12, which is a good indication for the stock. The stock has made the highest move to 3,839.70 points this week. While shares are trading with a relative strength index of around 63.68. Piramal Pharma Limited has moved up by 19.75% this week with a change of 37.33 points. It has traded with a net volume of 143.798 million shares. The share is currently trading at the price level of 226.31 against the previous closing price of 188.98. Meanwhile, the share price is trading above its moving average 184.80, which is a good indication for the stock. The stock has made the highest move to 228 points this week. While shares are trading with a relative strength index of around 86.18. Nifty has entered negative trend in last trading session. You can go short in Nifty with stop loss of 25,176 on daily closing basis. Nifty would be considered bearish till it trades below 25,176 levels. Nifty support levels are 24,713, 24,573 and 24,345. Nifty resistance levels are 25,080 to 25,308 and 25,448. Bank Nifty has entered negative trend in last trading session. You can go short in Bank Nifty with stop loss of 51,417 on daily closing basis. Bank Nifty would be considered bearish till it trades below 51,417 levels. Bank Nifty support levels are 50,223, 49,869 and 49,290. Bank Nifty resistance levels are 51,156, 51,734 and 52,088.
You can reach us via phone, WhatsApp, or email using the information listed on the screen. Thank you for joining us today. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more financial insights. And, as always, if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover in future videos, leave them in the comments section below. Until next time, happy investing.